So today we are going to be talking about the complicated, complex, yet interesting topic of love languages.
Why love languages?
Because me and my mother have had many conflicts over our love language is and how they work.
Hello everyone.
I'm back!
Welcome to another episode of It's a Learning Life for Real. I'm Tamika and this is
Kayla, and I'm back. And I would also like to clarify something, both about the comments that were posted about just my first coming into my mom's channel. Thank you for all of your support and all of your love. I would also like to clarify that my name is spelled K-A-I-L-A-H, not K-A-Y or any other way. Now we will move on to the interesting, complex topic that we have to work with today, which is love languages.
She wanted to talk about love languages, and love languages, like she said, is one of the things that we have constant conversations about in this house. And the whole concept of love languages was made popular by Gary Chapman, who wrote a book on the 5 love languages. And when we talk about love languages, if you're not familiar with the concept, we're just talking about the way or ways that people like to express or receive love. And fun fact is that Gary Chapman, he wrote the adult version of the book Love Languages, and he also has a version of the book that is primarily targeted at kids, because not only when we talk about showing love should we be thinking about our significant others or partners, but a huge part of showing love and affirming our kids and building better relationships is identifying how they want love expressed to them, and just identifying what we can do to always ensure that they feel loved. So what are the 5 love languages, Kayla?
The 5 love languages are quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts, physical touch, words of affirmation.
Yeah,
and words of affirmation.
all right. So
And our love languages, she is acts of service and quality time, and I am, I'm words of affirmation and physical touch, hugs and kisses.
and lots of compliments.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we talk about the 5 love languages, what would be an example of quality time?
Quality time would be like, we have this thing called Mommy and Me time that we have on Saturdays where we like watch a movie together or do something together. That's just like quality time. So that's probably what I call that.
Okay. And what would be an example of gifts?
Gifts. Christmas.
Yeah, but
Birthdays.
yeah.
I mean, extra excitement when you get a gift.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually really hard to explain a love language when that's not one you have.
Yeah, but gifts are just, they don't have to be big, expensive birthday or Christmas gifts. It could just be you thinking about somebody and buying something that you know they like. So like sometimes I'll be out shopping and I'll see Ferrero Rocher, Kayla likes chocolate, and I'll pick up chocolate and bring it home for her, not because she asked, but because I thought of her and I knew that she would like it. Or it could be that I'm out shopping and I was like, oh, let me get her something. So gifts. What would be an example of words of affirmation?
When you say nice things to somebody and it like builds them up, basically.
Yeah, so those would be like writing notes.
Yes.
Yeah, words of encouragement. And what's acts of service?
I feel like you should explain that one.
So acts of service, she's saying I should explain it because that's one of my love languages. And of course, acts of service is just really exercising thought and care to do something for someone else. So it could be that you recognize that they are responsible for handling a chore or task around the home all by themselves, and it's you offering to help them out and or surprising them by doing something for them that they probably wanted to do for themselves but never got around to. So just serving them, doing something that will help them out and make them feel good. So that would be an example of acts of service. And then the last one is physical touch. So what would be an example of physical touch?
And hugs.
Snuggles
Kisses.
and hugs and kisses.
The best thing in the world.
All day, every day for her. So those are examples of love languages, the 5 love languages according to Gary Chapman. And again, love languages are really the ways in which all of us have ways in which we like to receive love, and what helps us to what fills our buckets, because that's essentially what love languages do. When people speak our love language, it fills our bucket, it fills our love tank, and we're happier. What are some of the ways that I use or show love through words of affirmation?
We like writing mirror messages to each other.
Mirror messages. So what
like,
are mirror messages?
So it's basically encouraging or kind words that you write on like the bathroom mirror, and then when I wake up and go to the bathroom in the new day, I can see the message, and then it's like a really nice start to my day. So that's one thing that you do.
And another one of your love languages you spoke about was physical touch, and the way physical touch shows up for you is what you like?
Snuggling, hugs, and kisses.
Snuggling, hugs, and kisses. So Kayla is a kid who wants to snuggle, hug, and kiss all day, every day. And the truth of the matter is, whereas I have to honor her love languages by trying to give her hugs and kisses and snuggles,
She doesn't do it that well all the time.
I don't always have the bandwidth to indulge every hug, every snuggle, and or every kiss. Which is not to say I don't speak your language. I probably don't speak it as much as you want me to.
You're not very fluent.
I'm not very fluent. Really?
Fluent.
Are you serious right now?
Fluent.
So, okay, so we talked about fluency. So what would be an example of acts of service? Because we just spoke about your love languages.
I wash the dishes.
That's an act of service, but it's also a responsibility. You use the dishes too.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
but it is an act of service.
It's an act of service, but the way I feel loved is when it is that acts of, you do stuff for me. When you help me out, when you help me out without me asking you to help me out, and so on and so forth. So Kayla would think that saying I love you or giving me compliments is something that's going to make me feel loved.
Snuggling takes effort.
But I might prefer that she does something without me having to ask her, or she does something nice for me, an act of service. And the challenge you have with that is that you think you should be able to just give me
hugs and kisses and I'm sorry's and snuggles.
And those are okay, because the thing about love languages is that though we all have our preferences for what the love languages are and how it is that we want to receive love and how it is that we express love, it's really important that we are expressing love or showing love to the person not in the language we prefer, but in the language they prefer. And that's where we kind of have the issue.
And we've been slightly successful. Like there are times where, without her knowing, I will try to sneak my physical touch and snuggles into her quality time when we're watching movies. But it's really the words of affirmation and the acts of service that are just like clashing, because it's like when you find a puzzle piece and you think it goes with that other puzzle piece, but when you try to put it in, it doesn't work. So then you're just there trying to shove it in so that it works, but you're having some real trouble.
So you're saying that when I would want you to do stuff to show me that you love me, you're just using your words of affirmation and I am not receiving that because I don't care as much about the compliments as much as
Yes,
I care about.
exactly. That you're getting it. You're finally getting it.
Yeah, but the thing about it, Kayla, is saying I love you and not showing somebody that you love them
Mom,
by doing stuff to help them out.
This is the conflict right there. Because I find I love you very descriptive, that I love you.
So at what point do you translate that I love you?
I give you like
words?
more than 50 kisses a day, probably a good 40 hugs a day, and I try to fit in at least 2 or 3 snuggle sessions in a day. But apparently that doesn't signify enough that I love her.
So Kayla, if it is that you say I love you all day, every day, and you don't help mommy out by, say, picking up after yourself.
You see, that's the problem.
Taking care of the place, the place, helping around the house.
I don't find doing things a sign, I guess you could say,
of love,
of showing love.
But I am saying that that's my love language. That's how I receive love.
Yes, but I don't get it, so I don't do it.
You get it. You just don't like it. The fact that you could explain it so well means you get it. It's just that it's not your preferred language. You would love if I received love the way you want to show it. And that's the rub.
I want her to have my love language.
But I don't have your love languages. And this is true for you as well in your homes and in your family. For those of you who have children, if you have more than one children, it could be that the love languages, each child is unique. And the way they like to receive love is different. And the way you like to receive love might be different from either your partner or your children. And it's not about ignoring any of the love languages, because all the love languages are important. Even though I have a preference for acts of service and quality time, I love gifts. And yes, I also like to hear I love you. Yes, Kayla. And I also want words of affirmation, but what fills my bucket is more when you do something for me and when you invest quality time with me. That fills my bucket more than any amount of I love yous or any amount of hugs. And it's not to say I don't love hugs. I love hugs and I love yous. But if you just do I love you alone and you never help me out and you never do anything for me, nah, I'm not gonna feel that love. I'm not gonna feel that love.
2,000 years later.
So why is it important that parents speak the love language of their children? Why do you think it's important?
Makes their relationship better.
Okay, makes their relationship
Probably
better.
causes less conflict.
Mm-hmm.
I would know.
And why is it important that kids speak the love languages of their parents?
I don't quite know. Could you help explain that?
Nope,
for us?
nope. I want to hear from you.
Well, then that would also cause less arguments. I don't know. That's a parent perspective.
Yeah, I mean, just the same way, because all of us have a need for love. So whether you're a child or you're a parent, everybody wants to feel love. So it's really, if you want to have happy and healthy and positive relationships, it's really important that we listen and take the time to acknowledge what our friends and loved ones and our family member love languages are, and try to show them love in the way that they want to receive love, not just in the way that we want to show them love. So your love language might be, like in Kayla's instances, words of affirmation and physical touch. And she'll do that for me all day, every day. But my love language is acts of service and quality time. So I don't just want her to say I love you and to tell me, give me compliments. I want her to take time away from her gadgets. I want her to come downstairs and spend time with mommy, rather than just saying I love you and giving me a kiss. So it's really important. I think the whole idea behind love languages is that we all should seek to understand what our loved ones and our families' love languages are, and try not just to show them love in the way we like to receive love, but to show them love in the way they want to receive. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about love languages? Because this is your topic.
Just to see if you have met or know anybody who seems to show any of those love languages, and see how you can best support them, because it's actually very good in the long run.
As you listen to us talk about our love languages, you can think about your loved ones, your friends, and your family, and ask yourself, what is the way they like to receive love? And if once you've figured out what the person's love language is, yes, you'll continue to show them love with your love language, but it's also going to be super important
That too.
that
Figure out what your love language
yeah,
is.
you're also going to be showing them love in the way they want to receive it. And like Kayla said, not only are you trying to figure out what their love language is, it's really important that you know your own love language.
So you can care for it. Or
Yeah.
yourself.
So you can advocate for yourself, or you can express, so rather than being upset at your partner or your children that they're not doing something for you or they're not making you feel loved.
Might be your perspective.
Yeah, you might want to be able to say to them, what makes me feel loved is when you do this. And that will give them some kind of insight as to how they can ensure that you feel supported, that you feel special, and you feel loved. So I hope our little share on the 5 love
Insightful.
languages was, yeah, like Kayla said, insightful. And you can always grab a copy of the book, like I said.
But you have homework. You must, as we have already said, I just want you to know, so you can leave it in your mind. You must go figure out what your friends and loved ones' love languages are, and yourself. So I hope that you learn.
Until next time, remember,